Hello, you are listening to the Gamer Librarian Podcast, the best podcast you can find on this side of the multiverse. I am your host Adrian, and today I will be talking about Sony's recent state of play, the return of the WB's free-to-play brawler MultiVersus, and more. Afterwards, be sure to subscribe to be notified when future episodes are released, and show your support by liking and leaving a comment. Thank you for joining. So, for the first time now, this podcast is being recorded in a new area. My girlfriend's. The fam has COVID right now, so we're bunkered here for the weekend, but they're doing well. The change of venue is really nice, and I hope that the audio is okay to your liking. What did you guys do for Memorial Day? We went camping, and that was lit as hell. Besides that, I'm still reading and gaming. We have a lot of gaming news to cover now, so I think we should get right into it, because I missed a lot, over the last week or so. To start off, I really want to talk about an article that came out through IGN, at least how I'm reading it, is that, gamers are becoming a little less interested in games with deep strategy. And I think that's, not really, I don't really think that's the case. I think that a lot of games are made, in a lot of ways simple for a larger audience, and then some of them are made really deep and complex to really grab a more specific kind of audience. And there's a lot of people who like games like XCOM and Fire Emblem and Civ. I love Civ 6. I wouldn't claim I'm the best at it, but I love Civilization games. They're the best. My favorite one was on the 360, Civ 4. That one was the best one. I loved it. And I think that games that are made more difficult, need to make tools for gamers to try and learn them at an easier pace and grasp all the mechanics and all the resources that they give you, so that when it comes to utilizing them all, you're familiar with them in a way that you don't feel overwhelmed or anything. A lot of games talk about difficulty, like Dark Souls is difficult for some people, but games that are very complex and you have to manage a lot of resources, and it takes a lot of time managing, and a lot of that. 67% of gamers today care less about strategic thinking and planning when playing it. I don't think that's true. I really don't, yeah, it's fun to just turn your brain off and play a Mario game and just jump from right to left, or play a shooter game like Fortnite or something. You don't need a whole lot of deep strategy for it. It does take some kind of comprehensive thinking, but you can turn your brain off to it. Some games we have to be a little more reactive, like multiplayer games, PvP games, strategy games, fighting games, things like that. I really think that gamers really look for those complex and deep ideas. And this was something I really wanted to talk about last week before we missed out on having the podcast for the camping trip, because I was really interested in this topic, because I love strategy games. I think games like this should be coming out more, because you can make a lot more complex games if they have really set grounded rules. Baldur's Gate is really great, for all intents and purposes it's an RPG, but it is a strategy game. You have to really put some thought into how you play it. If it's on harder difficulties, normal or higher, there's a story mode, and that doesn't really matter, but still, if you want to have that experience, you can, and I think that's great. So yeah, that's just what I really think about the article. I think that strategy games, they're not going to go anywhere. I think that it all depends on how the games are made and how they really approach players being able to take on that challenge of getting into and understanding a complex video game. That's just what I think. And yeah, that's just what I think about that. Besides that, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero put out a new trailer for their fusion characters and all that. We're about maybe 40% with the revealed roster, so that's pretty exciting. I'm very much looking forward to what they're going to have for the future showcase for Dragon Ball. I think that they're going to be at Gamescom or Summer Game Fest, something like that, I think. And I definitely hoping for a release date, definitely this year. It's certainly going to be this year. And then we also had Warhammer Skulls, their little video game showcase this year. They announced Rogue Trader DLC. I'm very excited. That's a really big excuse for me to get back into Rogue Trader. I never finished the third act of the main story, so hopefully with all the bugs fixes and all that stuff, this would be a really good opportunity to get back into it. As well as Space Marine 2 having more more gameplay for the co-op. Yeah, when it comes to Space Marine 2, I'm definitely excited. That'll be a really good excuse to go back and finish the first game as well. So looking out for more of those Warhammer games. And now for the big piece of the gaming pie right now. It's Sony's State of Play that came out yesterday, really, around 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and they showed off a bunch of games. Dynasty Warriors got like a big, I guess it's like a remaster of an older game, or maybe it's just a reboot. I don't know much about the Dynasty Warriors industry, but that seems like a very fun kind of franchise. Path of Exile 2 is coming to PS5 on early access. I downloaded the first game because I see people like Asmongold playing that game, and I'm excited to get into that. I only played a little bit of The Witch, like maybe an hour or so, but that's a game I'm gonna try and get back into as well. Monster Hunter Wilds, I like Monster Hunter from what I played of World, but that game's not really on my radar. And Astrobot coming back, the little PS5 like exclusive dude, love it. I would love more of that, like little fun adventure platforming games to come back. I want to see what they do with like the controller and all those little fun mechanics. As well as God of War Ragnarok getting a PC port. That's pretty good, but we're finally getting a little more of those PS5 games on PC. Hopefully that'll open up the gate for other games like Rebirth or Bloodborne and other kind of games. And then after that, they had a Silent Hill showcase. I didn't catch this one, but I definitely saw articles about the trailer for the little stills for the movie coming out, Return to Silent Hill. And then there's a bunch of Silent Hill 2 gameplay and stuff like that. I don't like that Silent Hill 2 looks. Like for me, I don't like how it looks. It doesn't look like a proper modern remake or whatever. It just doesn't look that solid to me. So, I like Silent Hill, but I think that, the last time we saw Silent Hill, they announced 6 games or so. That's a lot. This time around, we only saw 4 or 5 of them. We only saw about 2 of them, just Silent Hill 2 and the movie. That was really about it. Yeah, Silent Hill is, still kicking for someone, someone at Konami is still trying to champion it. But I think they need to slow their roll and maybe just focus on one proper reboot for the franchise and just get it out there. But who knows what they're gonna do. Everyone out there should try and get the Dave the Diver timed exclusive Godzilla DLC before it evaporates from existence sometime after August. I definitely scooped that up before it was deleted off the PS5 marketplace. So I'm excited to go back and play Dave the Diver once I get a chance to do that. That was a very enjoyable game. I was very surprised by the fact that you make sushi out of the fish that you caught. I didn't know that's part of the game. And that's part of the game that I'm getting back to and I want to play again. And then, that's about it for the showcase stuff. Besides, all the gaming news, I've been playing so we can get into what I really wanted to talk about this time, and that's the return of one of my favorite games that was around, I think around last year, 2023, maybe 2022, but it's MultiVersus, WB's Smash Bros. More 2v2 kind of centered brawler at the time of the beta, but maybe now it's a little more open-ended in terms of that. Maybe they got rid of the 2v2 more focused stuff. That's how the beta felt when I played it. I loved it. I loved the beta. Playing as Velma, Shaggy, Batman, Superman, and then all the other characters, they were all great. And they all play so distinctively, individually. That's one of the best things about it. I love MultiVersus, and just being able to play that again now with the newer characters like Jason they're adding, which is a horror icon, and Joker. I mean, of course you're gonna have him as the DC villain staple. That's just a no-brainer. When we're getting Agent Smith from The Matrix and Banana Guard from Adventure Time, just so many more characters, and there's rumors for so many more. This game, MultiVersus, for me, really scratches that Smash Bros. Itch, where you're just dying to see what kind of newer characters are going to come out. Even if it's not a character you want, who cares? It's a new character. It's a new way to play the game, some new style, some new flair. That's all we want. And it's free to play. That's amazing. You put some time into the game, earn some coins, and then you unlock the characters. We're gonna get some other modes, like story mode or adventure mode, where they're gonna do, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Free to play is the way to go for some games. Games where you want your game to be, have a very long life, last more than 5-10 years, have players coming in and out of things other than just season passes and tier list or whatever else. You know what I mean? So I haven't gotten a chance to get into MultiVersus and its new content yet, but as soon as I can, I'm gonna dive head first into it. Replay Velma, check out Jason Voorhees and the Joker when they drop. Absolutely, because that game's fun and it's new. I still love going back to Smash Bros. And other games like it, but this is a new game and it's entirely fun. I enjoy so much of it. Absolutely gonna go back to it. So I'm very happy that it came back. Really am. Street Fighter got Akuma, and now I think we're at the last character for the Year 1 or Season 1 DLC pass. So we're probably going to get some newer characters, new blood in the Street Fighter. That's going to be a really good excuse to get back into that game. I'm really excited. So something else I want to talk about was, I think this is a little under the radar for some people because it's for, less than favorite title. A Lords of the Fallen boss rush mode was announced, and I suppose it's free to play. I haven't done much research into it. I haven't played Lords of the Fallen, the newer one. I played the first one, the original one, Lord of the Fallen, right? And that game was cool. I liked its dynamic. I liked its a little more kind of simplistic, but far more flary, actiony kind of Souls kind of gameplay. I think the first game had a lot of merit. I enjoyed it, and I'm sure the second game is just as much the same as the first, if not better. But the fact that it gets a boss rush mode, like it's some kind of roguelike game, like Metroid or what's the other one? Blasphemous or Hollow Knight, something like that. I think that's great. I think Dark Souls always needed that. I think Dark Souls always needed some kind of extra little mode that you should be able to get when you're done. All the bosses that you have fought or found throughout the whole run, just do them all in one. Just get your character, have a little gauntlet area, and just blast through them. And I think it's really cool that Lords of the Fallen is getting modes like that, even if it's probably just to give the game a little more kick, just give other players a little other reason to play it. So kudos to them, because now I'm gonna go play it. I would love to play that game with the boss rush mode. Absolutely, I love content like that. Video games need way more like that. That's just me. So shout out to Lord of the Fallen and the devs of Lords of the Fallen for putting out a mode like that. Truly. And that's super it for video games. Other than that, Final Fantasy has been my tried and true every day, trying to do the duties when I can, blasting the story mode, the MSQ. I now further than I've ever been in Stormblood, and I'm so excited to be blasting through this. I hope that by the end of the weekend I'll be done with Stormblood and doing all the post content and trying to get into the Shadowbringers expansion. I'm really hoping to start that soon by Monday or so. So, you guys should really hope to see all of you on Final Fantasy between now and when Dawntrail finally releases. And I've been reading some books lately. I started a book, a short stories collection called The Aliens Among Us by James White. Now that's been pretty good. I like the twist that they have for them. They kind of treat the aliens like very human in a lot of ways. They have some flawed differences to us, but they're all definitely cool first contact, diverged stories, weird things you wouldn't really think that you would have for first contact stories in a lot of ways. I'll say my favorite. There's one where these two, a human and an alien, they're the first contact people, and through a series of weird misunderstandings, they become heroes for the first contact series. I thought that was pretty cool, so that was actually really fun. And right now I'm rereading Foundation by Isaac Asimov. That's a really great science fiction book. Absolutely great. It's about 6 or so books, but I've only read the first one, and the first one pretty much details the beginnings of how galactic humanity crumbles like a Great Depression, like a giant galactic wide Great Depression, and all the smartest people in the world claim that the only way that humanity can get through this is if they pretty much make a giant monopoly on science and teaching science. So they create the Foundation Group, which is pretty much just a giant monopoly on science, and it's great. I think Apple has a TV show for it, and Probably about the time I finish this book and the series, I'll be giving the show a watch, absolutely. And besides that, I've been reading a bunch of manga, of course. One Piece, chapter 1115. I mean, come on. The government is terrible. Like what if Hurricane Katrina was just like a government conspiracy kind of thing? Like crazy, crazy. If Please watch One Piece. Get on One Piece, everybody. My Hero is on its final like arc. It just wrapped up the pretty much the fight with Shigaraki. Like that's pretty much over. So chapters 40, 122 and 423, they were pretty good. Really excited. Wild Strawberry, chapter 24. This is a manga that I've been, preaching for the last few months now, and I love it. This character, Rarami Masamune, right? I think that's what it is. She's crazy, dude. I wonder what her backstory is. The way she took out those Genkai, holy damn. Yeah, I'm certainly excited to see where the rest of that manga goes. And to end it, me and my girlfriend, we watched a really great show that came out a while ago on Netflix. Friends of ours have been telling us to watch it for a while, and that was Midnight Gospel. And that's like a cool little podcast turned TV show kind of thing where someone interviews people and they talk about very existential stuff. And that was actually very fun. I very much enjoyed it. They have like an episode on death and existence and things like that, and that was actually very nice. So that was really nice to watch with her. Other than that, I think that's about it for the episode. I hope in the future that we're going to be able to talk about things like the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase, the Black Ops 6 coming out, Gamescom, and certainly Dawntrail and the Elden Ring DLC that's coming out in like 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I'm so excited. It's going to be so glorious. I hope to see all of you there. Let me know what you're playing. Let me know what you're reading. What are you looking forward to that could be announced in the future? Let me know in the comments. And please don't forget to subscribe if you want more episodes just like this. Thank you, and see you next time.